Here's the thing. Is wearing a face mask curtailing your freedom? Quite seriously, wearing a face mask. Just digest this for a second. Is it curtailing your freedom? I'm deeply fascinated by this. I know it's a minority, but they are loud and dangerous, and they mean business, and they're not happy. Not only do they refute all the expert views on face masks, they also dip their conspiratorial toes into the issues track and trace. They're against it. Even any vaccines that could save life, they're against it. Some go further. They correlate 5G into this. All manner of other issues. In essence, they just don't trust the government. Hundreds of activists descended on Hyde Park in central London this weekend to protest against the wearing of face coverings. These will become, of course, compulsory in shops and supermarkets from Thursday this week. Demonstrators were there. They had big signs. They'd made their signs with things like, "I will not be masked, tested or tracked." They gathered for the Keep Britain Free March. I spotted one sign that said, somebody holding a sign talking about face masks, it said face masks can reduce oxygen, increase CO2s, cause acidosis of the blood, harbour bacteria and cause respiratory infections. None of this is true. It's just grade A, high octane cobblers. They literally just made it up. Is wearing a face mask curtailing your freedom? 0344 499 1000. The movement, which was founded by Simon Dolan, he's the aviation tycoon, the multi-millionaire. Earlier this month, you may remember, he lost his High Court bid to overturn the government's lockdown rules. He spoke on this show just about a week or so ago. He's angry, very, very angry. Look, I totally get it. When it comes to face masks, they're not the most comfortable things, not the most dignified things. Let's be honest, there's still a lot of debate around the effectiveness. But as we sit here now, the science and the medical evidence suggests that on balance, this is key, on balance, it's probably a good idea to wear one. It's not going to eradicate coronavirus. Nobody ever said it would. But it's part and parcel of a wider picture in trying to tackle the pandemic. And of course, from this Thursday, if you're not wearing one, you could be fined £100. I noticed one, did you see the shop in Glasgow that's got the big sign up saying no face masks? The sign in the shop, outside the shop, says no face masks allowed in this store. Lower your mask or go elsewhere. Stop listening to your government. They're dumbasses. This is the store policy for our employees' safety. Please comply or go somewhere else. Who are these people? They put that outside their own shop. Is wearing a face mask curtailing in any shape or form your freedom? 0344 499 1000. What are these people scared of? Who are they scared of? If you're a anti-mask person, what do you think's going to happen by wearing one? And by the way, this won't allay the fears of conspiracy theorists. I read this today. This is a great take-home fact for you. That by 2026, what do you think the global face mask market will be worth? By 2026, 7.22 billion quid. Dollars. All right, dollars. It's near enough. Does anyone seriously believe, however, and this seems to be where the sort of anti-mask thing comes from, that governments around the world somehow colluded to get their citizens to wear face masks based on nothing more than some kind of control or coercion of the population? The shape of things to come, they say, if you can get every human to wear one of these things based on a couple of news bulletins and some GP advice, we can get them to do anything. This week, face masks. Next week, microchips in your butt cheeks. Really? This is off the scale, hysterical nonsense. Look, define it this way, okay? Define it like this. Is there more evidence for a mask or more evidence that the Illuminati want to control your brain from a secret headquarters in a hillside in Bolivia? This is real life, not secret squirrel. Which one, on balance, do you believe? 0344 499 1000. And it's interesting, fascinating, and it could well be, the only answer. I might be shooting fish in a barrel on this one a tad. But there is a correlation between the anti-maskers, who are sort of anti-mask, very anti-government, anti-vaccine, anti trace, track, test, any of that. Absolutely against the whole thing. And it seems to be based, and we're going to speak to a couple of guests on this shortly, who will thrash this one out between them, I'm hoping. It seems to be based on a kind of a distrust of government. That seems to be it. It is just a conspiracy theory. I don't like wearing a mask. I'm in a carriage on a train on my own. There's no one else in the carriage. It's so quiet still out there. You think, hearing noises about people coming back to work. I'm working here in a very busy part of the capital, one of the biggest cities in the world. And I've got a train to myself, or at the very least a train carriage. And I'm sat there with my little mask on, just in case some oppo walks past who's got some authority that might tell me to stick it on. So I don't like wearing the mask. I'm absolutely sure that there are medical opinions out there that would say, well, it only does a tiny bit. But let's work on the basis of balance. You see, the mask, as I understand it, potentially stops me from giving it to somebody else if I've got the COVIDs, as it were. 0344 499 1000. But talk me through this, because I won't mock you. I'm having some fun with the intro to the show. Hey, it's what we do. But just put some meat on the bones of this one. If you could explain, I would be all ears as to why. I mean, you heard the woman at the beginning. Can we play that again, Sam? That clip we played at the start. This was her, and she was talking in Hyde Park at the protest. Here's what she said.
There are now 7,221 pledges of support to Simon Dolan's Keep Britain Free movement. They will ruin lives for generations, your children, your grandchildren.
Now listen to that. There's 7,000. She's got 7,000 people interested. Hardly sort of Captain Tom territory, is it really? But 7,000 people have signed the thing, Keep Britain Free. It will ruin lives. Who is she talking about? Whose life is going to be ruined? Is it going to be ruined because is she suggesting that there's something in the vaccine that's going to muck up your thought process? It's going to play around with your brain and your neurological department. Is it that? Is there something else going on? Or is she saying that wearing masks is going to ruin lives? So it's quite hard to sort of ascertain precisely what that group want. And there were hundreds of them descended on Hyde Park. Again, it's not the Stop the War coalition in terms of numbers, but they are loud, they make a lot of noise, and you get onto social media and you check out the echo chamber there, and it's incredibly busy with people who have, I'm not wearing a mask, we refuse to wear a mask. What's the kudos in not wearing a mask? We work in a busy building here. We've got an array of talent sitting in front of me right now, from very talented people like Sam all the way down to our producer Ricky. Okay, so I know, too easy. So we've got, I don't know anyone amongst us and different age groups as well. I don't know anyone amongst us who thinks that it's a bad thing to wear a mask. We all agree, who knows? The jury's a little bit out. The science is still, but on balance, that's it, isn't it? On balance. If somebody said, look, wear the mask, there's just a 5% chance that if you've got it, you're not going to pass it on to someone else. It's simple as that. To wear the mask. What's wrong with the mask? None of us like wearing the mask. Some of us look better with it on, by the way. There is that little factor as well. Again, back to Ricky. 0344 499 1000. Is wearing a mask seriously curtailing your freedom? That's really the nub of this, isn't it? Is it curtailing your freedom? What's she banging on about, matey, there in Hyde Park? It's going to damage the health of your... We've got 7,000 like-minded morons who seem to think the same thing. Shall we throw this onto Twitter as a poll? I think that's a good idea, don't you, producer Ricky? Yeah, he's putting it on there right now. It's actually live as we speak. That's how fast he works. So there it is. Is wearing a mask curtailing your freedom? Yes, no. Simple, straightforward question. Yes, no. And we're going to go binary on this. Yes or no. We've got votes already. 36% say yes. 64% say no. I want to hear from the 36%. That's the interesting group. Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, tell us more. Tell us a little more. But can we talk about Leeds later on? I mean, I know they play football in a filthy fashion, but man alive, did you see that Millennium Square at the weekend? That's a whole other issue of protest. We're meant to be celebration. We'll get back onto that. So get over to Twitter as well. We've got the question running there. At talkRADIO is where you'll find us. Is wearing a mask curtailing your freedom?